Hi everyone, welcome to the July edition of Take a Moment with dentistry.co.uk. This month I'm joined by the lovely Nina Lord. Nina is a qualified dental therapist and nutritional therapist. She qualified from the University of Sheffield in 2013 and believes in treating her patients holistically. Thank you so much for joining me, Nina.
Thank you for having me. As you say, I'm really passionate about treating our patients holistically, but I'm also a big believer that we shouldn't be pouring from an empty cup as clinicians. And if we're going to be the best clinician we want to be, we need to be really well as well. So I'm really glad that I'm able to share some of my knowledge with you guys today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're all probably in need of a little boost after the last year. So Nina's going to share her top 3 tips for well-being as dental professionals. So really looking forward to hearing everything she has to share, because she's always so knowledgeable and she's so easy to listen to. I've heard her speaking a few times before. And so just go ahead, Nina, with your first tip when you're ready.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's 3 tips, because as you know, Lauren, I could talk about this all day long. So rein me in. But yeah, so my first sort of tip is talking about eating a rainbow of fruit and vegetables, so that we're getting that sort of, rainbow of colours. Now, I don't say to people have it every single day, because I think that puts us under a lot of pressure and also sets us up for a fall sometimes. And we've got enough going on in our lives with that, haven't we? So I think trying to aim for 30 to 40 portions of fruit and veg a week is a really good way to look at it, because if you have a couple of bad days, you can still make it up. Why do I recommend this? Well, because it's full of antioxidants, so it's going to protect us against those free radicals, that oxidative stress. It's going to help to keep our cells functioning, which is vital for well-being. Also, it's full of phytonutrients, so each different colour has their own sort of nutritional sort of value. So a red grape is different to a green grape, so it's like getting all those different colors in as well. Also, you can have an array of vitamins and minerals, so you're not going to get too hooked up on like grams of this or grams of that. If you're eating 30 to 40 portions a week, you're going to be getting everything that you need to help you to sort of get what you need, and also build up our resilience, because we need to be resilient right now, don't we? More than ever with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So also, and also as well, it's a really great source of fibre as well. And again, Lauren, you've heard me speak, so you know how important I know I base on keeping you regular. You were laughing before I even said it. So
I was waiting for it.
Wouldn't be anything without me talking about that. But but fibre is really important as well. Also, a lot of these fruit and veg, they do feed the good bacteria in the gut as well. So it's like prebiotic properties. So we know about the bacteria in the mouth and how that all works really well, but also in our gut as well. So it helps to feed that and keep that lovely, healthy ecosystem going as well.
Amazing. Do you have any tips say if you want to increase your fruit and veg intake, are there any easy ways to do that without having to do lots of kind of different meal prepping and things like that? What's an easy way?
Yeah, I think you can't beat the old-fashioned stir fry. You just can't. It's really easy. You just throw it all in, and and you can even use water to cook it as well, and just shove all the vegetables in and try and look down and think, how colourful is it? Stews, soups. The one thing I would say and be really careful with is if you're making smoothies. I know people who have made a smoothie and they've put a whole pineapple in, 2 punnets of strawberries, a punnet of blueberries, and before not, they're eating way more than they probably eat in a week, let alone in one sitting. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's too much. So I would say just a bit of caution with the fruit side of things, but with the vegetables, just throw it all in. And and another thing that I really enjoy to do actually is making dips. So you just roast some vegetables and blend it, and you've literally got a dip there waiting for you as well.
Yeah, I've not done that before actually. I'm going to try that.
Great for snacks.
Yeah, get some extra veggies on the shopping list for some dips. Amazing. So what's your next tip?
So something that, again, it's really important is keeping your blood sugars balanced. One of the main reasons really is that it helps to prevent us craving those biscuits that are hiding in the upstairs staff room from our lovely patients who clearly listen to everything we say about sugar, but they mean well, don't they? But obviously, if we're eating those sort of foods that are going to give you this sort of high and low sort of dips in your blood sugars, you're going to be craving more of it, and you're going to end up in this sort of vicious circle. Not only that, we're going to have like reduced energy. We're going to get more cortisol misfiring, so we're going to feel in a lot more stress, which can affect our sort of sleep as well. And over a long period of time, we're going to have sort of issues potentially with our the damage to our blood vessels and linking to high blood pressure as well. So just by keeping our blood sugars sort of balanced every single day, we can help to prevent problems in the future as well.
Amazing. And do you think it's needed to have, any kind of, obviously for our teeth, we don't like to snack too much, but do you think it's needed to have like a little snack during a clinical session to balance your blood sugar, or, should your main meals be enough?
Well, I mean, this is very generic advice, so it's kind of giving advice to everybody. But of course, we all know that we're all individuals and we all have very different, bodies, and what works for one doesn't work for the other. But the main principle I would go with is making sure that you balance your meals out. So you're having some protein, some good quality fats, and some of that fibre that we talked about in that rainbow, in order to balance it, just to help keep that sort of slow burn rather than these sort of highs and lows. These things are going to help us to break it down much more slowly, and we get more energy from it that way. So in theory, if we're kind of applying these principles to our food, then we shouldn't need to be sort of snacking all the time as well. It could be very simple, something like, I know a lot of people who love like bananas on toast. You've got these like really simple carbohydrates with this high GI banana, and it just doesn't keep them full. Doing something like choosing some berries and some oats, or even just adding a bit of nut butter to your bananas on toast is going to really help to keep that energy going as well.
Amazing. And resist the staff room biscuits. Tell the patients not to bring biscuits.
Hard as it
is. Just at Christmas. Fabulous. And have you got a last tip for us?
Yeah, so this is something I think is really important. So mindful eating. So I always say it's not what you eat, you are what you absorb. And obviously, if we're not digesting our food properly and breaking our food down properly, we're not going to be absorbing it properly, which is then going to have a far-reaching effect on our sort of well-being as well. So yes, digestion starts when we are chewing it, and we remember at dental school we learned about the salivary amylase and breaking down carbohydrates and all of that. But actually, the digestion process starts when you're looking and you're smelling the food. I mean, Lauren, how many times have you looked down at your lunch? I mean, don't have to know exactly how many times, but and your sandwich is gone and you've eaten it because you've been so busy all morning and rushed, and you're like, where did it go? I didn't even have a chance to enjoy it. And if you don't know you've eaten it, does your body know you've eaten it? So it's about supporting that digestive process. There's something called the vagus nerve, which is basically the communication between your brain and your tummy. And when you smell the food and you look at the food, it kind of stimulates and tells you the food is coming. So you get these juices released. So, I would say it's really, really important to actually, if you're bringing in like a box of sandwiches or something like that, and you're not cooking and preparing it, spend a little time smelling the food and looking at it and telling yourself what you're eating. I was even thinking the other day, even standing in line at the microwave at lunchtime, smelling other people's food is actually quite useful to get that all going, especially if you've just got a packet to rip open. So that will really help as well. But like nasal breathing and engaging that flight or fight mode while smelling your food is going to really help. And then obviously, then we go into the chewing and the mindful sort of chewing and swallowing, and then that your body sort of takes over. But we really need to start with that, just taking a moment. And actually, I've got something to show you. I've done a little Blue Peter sort of thing here. But I've got this, it's called My Little Panda, and this is what I take to lunch with me. And it's a really great tip if you want to eat sort of mindfully. It comes with that knife and fork and that, but it's got some chopsticks in. There's nothing more mindful than trying to eat your lunch with a pair of chopsticks. So if you're really stressed and you just, and you're not, I mean, obviously you don't want to stress yourself out more, but it's a really good way to slow yourself down by chewing with chopsticks. Just don't try it with soup.
Yeah, no, that's a really good tip. I think that's it's really important, because I was just saying to someone the other day that especially at work, it's such a kind of automatic thing at lunchtime, isn't it? You walk to the staff room, you get, as you say, you get in the queue for the microwave, you sit in the same spot that you always sit in, and your food's just gone before you know it. You don't even think about what you're eating or what. You just think that you're so hungry after working all morning that you just need to eat. So definitely relevant advice.
Well, I always find as well, I don't know about you, but with the PPE that we're wearing at the moment, I have zero tolerance for any other form of discomfort. So, because you've got this sort of squash on your face. So if you've got indigestion or you feel too full, it exacerbates it, doesn't it? So, by sort of applying these principles and hoping to digest better, hopefully will give you a more comfortable afternoon as well, not just the sort of absorption side of things, but actually your enjoyment for the afternoon at work as well.
Definitely, and any improvement in comfort that we can get, we will take at the minute, I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining me. If anyone would like any more information on nutrition and well-being, Nina is a wealth of knowledge. As I say, we could probably talk about this for hours, never mind 10 minutes. So she is on Instagram at the Holistic Plus Boss. And are you quite happy, Nina, for people to reach out to you if they'd like some more information?
Absolutely. Please get in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thanks,
Thank you
Nina.
for having me.